Welcome to SVM's Blitz for Week 2 of the high school football season. I'm sports editor Dan Woessner alongside Patrick Petrosky and Ty Reynolds. And today we are going to go through the 14 games for Week 2. Starting in the Three Rivers with Amboy at Gerard. Amboy is coming off a loss to St. Bede, 41-6. The Bruins exposed the Clippers' weakness in Pat's defense. This week against Gerard, they may face the same problem. Gerard can throw the ball around. Gerard beat Riverdale 26-6. The Rams aren't real good this year, so that you don't get a lot out of that win for Gerard. My prediction, though, is that Gerard beats Amboy 24-14.
Next on the schedule, Bureau Valley at St. Bede. Both teams put up some pretty impressive offensive numbers in the first week. Parker Newhalfen led the Storm with 3 rushing touchdowns and threw for a score also. There's a kind of a balanced attack on rushing and passing. St. Bede was the opposite. They were almost all pass happy. 234 passing yards against Amboy. I predict a high scoring game in here, but I'm going to take St. Bede at home, 42-35.
Next game, Erie Prophetstown at Hall. Nick Williams put the team on his back for Erie Prophetstown last week as he rushed for 235 yards and 4 touchdowns on 16 carries. Hall lost 42-21 to Bureau Valley, and this is why Erie Prophetstown is going to win this one 35-14.
Switching to the NUIC, East Dubuque goes to West Carroll. East Dubuque's coming off a 33-6 win over Polo, while West Carroll got beat 65-6 by EPC. East Dubuque is expected to be one of the top teams in the NUIC upstate, while West Carroll just couldn't get anything going against the Wildcats. My prediction is East Dubuque wins 44-6.
Back in the Three Rivers, Morrison travels to Orion. Morrison really throttled Princeton 46-0 last week, but Orion fell 42-20 to Fulton. I predict kind of the same thing. Morrison kind of get going. Orion's going to get going too. I think it's going to be lower scoring on both sides, but I picked the Mustangs to win 28-24.
Next game is Newman Commons at Princeton Tigers. Princeton lost last week to Morrison 46-0. Newman also suffered a 21-9 loss, and Dylan Helfefinger scored their only touchdown for Newman. However, this week Newman's going to score a lot of touchdowns and run the Tigers out of their stadium and win by at least 45-0.
Our next game is the Fulton Steamers at the Quoin Boilermakers. Fulton's coming off a big 42-20 win over Orion. That win puts them in the 1A rankings at number 10. Ethan Jones had a big week with 4 touchdowns, and the Steamers had 3 backs going over 100 yards rushing. Kewanee lost to Erie Prophetstown, but they were able to stay close for a half, but couldn't capitalize on some offensive chances in the first half. I see this game going kind of the same way. I think Fulton wins 34-18.
In a non-conference matchup, the NUIC's Eastland Pearl City Wildcats head to Monmouth Roseville, site of Dixon's 36-14 victory last week. Dixon's defense held Martell Hunter, the All-State running back, for Monmouth Roseville to 22 yards on 10 rushes. I predict EPC will probably have the same kind of success offensively that Dixon did. I don't know if they'll be able to shut down Hunter as well as Dixon did. But Easton Pearl City scored 65 points against West Carroll offensively. I don't think they're going to have much more trouble with Monmouth Roseville. I say EPC 42-21.
Next on the schedule, AFC at Polo. Jake Chapman and Brett Gittleson both had touchdowns in AFC's 14-34 loss to Ackman, while Brady Grobe scored Polo's only touchdown against East Dubuque as they lost 6-33. This game's going to be close, but in the end, I see the Raiders edging out the Marcos 35-33.
Next up is 2 undefeated teams in Orangeville at Milledgeville. The Orangeville beat Durand 40-34 in a shootout that ended very late on Friday night. Milledgeville beat Warren 30-15. Cameron Dauntine had a big game, and it was the first time the Missiles had won their first game since 2009. This is going to be a shootout again, I think, and I think Milledgeville comes out 38 on top, 38-6.
Switching gears to the Big Northern Conference, Rock Falls hosts Marengo. Last week, Rock Falls ended up finishing their game after midnight. They had no trouble moving the ball down the field, but really stalled when they got drives down toward the goal line and couldn't capitalize. Coach Scott Burge said he felt like they left some points on the field. Marengo lost 13-10 at Mendota. Marengo was 1-8 last year. This is going to be kind of a close one, I think. I think both offenses will move the ball. I don't know how many points either offense will score. I say Rock Falls 21, Marengo 20.
Oregon Hawks at Harvard Hornets. Last week, Oregon had a come-from-behind win as Ashton Rutherford scored 2 of his 3 touchdowns in the third quarter to beat Monmouth 28-21. Harvard had a big win like Haifa over Rock Falls 47-16 last week. Harvard is going to be too much for Oregon, who will also have to travel a long way to Harvard, and Harvard wins 35-21.
Switching to a NIB 12 crossover game, the Rochelle Hubs come to Dixon, who will be celebrating their 100th anniversary of football Friday night. Rochelle's coming off a 58-6 win over Chicago Corliss. You don't really learn a whole lot when teams from out this way play Chicago Public League schools. All we really know is Rochelle's always a very solid team. Dixon beat Monmouth Roseville 36-14 in an impressive win. J.D. Geeson had a huge day with 100-plus rushing yards, 200-plus passing yards. The key will be the Dukes be able to handle the physicality of the Hubs. I think it'll be a close game, but I do think Rochelle wins 24-18.
The last game for this week, Sterling at Johnsburg. Johnsburg is not what they used to be. They came in here several years ago with a Division I recruit named C.J. Fedorowicz, who now plays tight end at Iowa. Sterling did a great job that night shutting him down with double coverage. Johnsburg has not been the same since. They were 0-9 last year. They got beat 26-7 last week in week 1. Sterling, on the other hand, surprised some people, moved up to 10th in the rankings by beating a ranked Metamora team 42-28. Big plays were huge, 4 touchdowns of 40 yards or more. I see a lot of the same for Sterling and Johnsburg this week. I think Sterling will be able to put the ball in the end zone. I think they'll be able to strike quick, and I think their defense will be able to stop Johnsburg's offense. I think Sterling 35, Johnsburg 7.